I love the Marauder. Doom Eternal is a better game with his inclusion. He's fast, he hits hard, and he doesn't follow the rules of the rest of the enemies in the game, and that's exactly why I love him. That last point seems to be the issue that people have with him, but half of what you're hearing is completely false, and the other half is easily resolved by intelligent play and learning the game. Let's listen to the criticism about this character from several channels that I regularly view and who produce a lot of content that I enjoy, and we're going to dissect and debunk left and right. So, who is the Marauder? Gentlemen?
They are the only objectively terrible thing in the entire Doom franchise at this point. The Marauders have a shotgun that they use if you get too close. They have a ranged attack that they use if you get too far away. They have a melee swing that they can bust out whenever the fuck they like. They have a massive gap closer. They run faster than A-Train. They summon a flaming dog that chases you if you don't engage them enough. Oh, and they are essentially invulnerable to most attacks because they can bring up their shield in a split second that will block hit scan attacks.
First of all, the statement that his dog spawns if you don't engage him enough is a flat out lie. His dog only spawns if he's blocking fire with his shield. You can run around for days and the dog will never spawn if you don't hit his shield. The dog is your punishment for wasting your ammo, though he will occasionally spawn the dog if he blocks fire from another enemy.
These Marauders are also insanely fast, deal a ton of damage, and have a boatload of health. All of it combines to make an encounter that just sucks.
This is a problem. The Marauder, it is an enemy type in this game that completely contradicts every single thing this game encourages you to do. Like I mentioned before, it's all about fast movement, learning the layout of the arenas, finding ways to traverse it quickly and kill enemies quickly.
The problem isn't that Marauders are hard, the problem is they're bad. They're completely antithetical to the core design philosophy that underpinned Doom's entire combat design.
Okay, so here's the point about the Marauder contradicting the flow of Doom Eternal. You just heard that the game is about fast movement, learning the layout of the arenas, fast traversal, and fast killing. So when you're fighting the Marauder, you have to quickly dodge his projectiles, react to the dog spawn and take it out quickly, understand the level so while you're guarding against him you don't get lost or cornered, and strategically navigate to vantage points and sources of health and ammo. So right there you have movement, layout, traversal, and fast killing all involved in a fight against the Marauder. Moving on.
You cannot shoot this guy, no matter how far away he is, if he's running, because if he's running, he'll just dodge the bullets instantly.
The horrible part is that they also have a completely invulnerable red shield that they can pull out in a split second whenever they want, which effectively makes you waste what little ammo you have left.
It's not whenever they want. Yes, you'll learn quickly that if you shoot at him normally, he'll block you. But saying he pulls it out whenever he wants is trying to give the impression that the enemy is impossible to manage, which is crap. He very obviously blocks attacks that come from the front. He does not block everything. You can shoot rockets to his side and detonate them behind him. Same with grenades. You can sticky bomb his feet. So don't complain about wasting ammo when that's your fault, not his. Some guns clearly don't work on him, so if you run out of ammo by emptying your clip into his shield, that's on you.
You're meant to wait for this tiny opening when their eyes turn green and they're open to attack, and you can really only trigger that if you're standing at a precise distance from them.
You can't just shoot him, bullets deflect off of him. If you're too close, he's gonna shotgun blast you. If you're too far, he's gonna throw an axe at you. You have to stand in this Goldilocks zone where his eyes blink and then he swings an axe at you. That's when you can shoot him.
This is incredibly misleading. You are not supposed to stand at a certain range. You back off from him to where he can only attack long range, then he will start running at you, and you need to be prepared to tag him out of his melee attack. The best tools for this are the ballista or the super shotgun. Then he's staggered, you close the gap, and you blast him in the face again for free. Do not try to stand in a sweet spot. It's not hard to figure out that you can stay back and bait him into running at you.
Oh, and they're actually the one enemy in the game that the BFG does nothing against.
He's immune to the BFG, which is complete and utter horseshit.
He is not immune to the BFG. You can shoot it over his head, which forces him to turn around, exposing his back for an attack, if you want to play it that way.
But the problem I found with this guy is that he doesn't always follow his own rules. The game says that the Marauder only uses his shotgun if you're at close range, and he'll throw his axe if you're far away, but that difference between what the game determines as shotgun range or axe throwing range isn't really all that clear. It's just a bit of an unbalanced stain on a really solid enemy lineup otherwise.
The ideal distance that you're meant to be from them just feels so inconsistent. No other enemy in this game feels remotely janky, but the Marauders just feel like the contextual moveset is not consistent or reliable.
I don't know how much clearer it could get. The Marauder is like fighting a demonic version of yourself. He moves around with your dash speed, he has your super shotgun, so what's your shotgun range? Well, that's basically his too. Stay out of it. If he's closing the gap and the fight isn't in your favor, double dash away, or use your meat hook.
I know some contrarian edgelords in the comment section will be like, well, you just need to do this and that and the other thing and blah blah, get good, scrub. Well, sure, whatever. But for the average player tackling this game, especially on ultra violence difficulty, these Marauders can just totally kill your pacing, your enjoyment, and your overall experience.
This is the most bizarre argument of the bunch. Let's hear that again.
But for the average player tackling this game, especially on ultra violence difficulty, these Marauders can just totally kill your pacing, your enjoyment, and your overall experience.
Why on earth would an average player be playing on ultra violence and then complain about difficulty? The game has a menu that allows you to lower the difficulty at any time, and ultra violence is for experienced players who want a tough challenge, so this is just so weird to me. He's also completely dismissing all of the tactics for dealing with the fight, and insulting anyone who even bothers to suggest approaching the fight differently. Who does that? Look at how he's playing against the Marauder too. He's staying right in his face, not trying to bait out his run, blowing himself up with the rocket launcher. He barely ever dashes, no meat hook to move around, and we're supposed to take his complaint seriously? I mean, I get it. On my first playthrough, I handled the Marauders poorly too. They made me rethink my battle plan, and they made me a better player as a result. It wasn't till my second playthrough that I really started to get it, but I didn't go out into the streets screaming about how unfair it all is.
The Marauders completely arrest this flow. They demand your attention in a way that no other enemy does. The chess game is essentially put on hold until you deal with this asshole.
I do not see how this is a negative. Quote, they demand your attention in a way that no other enemy does. Have these people played Doom 2 or Final Doom? Did they ever encounter the Archvile in those games? In the original games, the style was very run and gun, circle strafing and blasting your enemies. You could fight everyone like this pretty much, except the Archvile. If he made eye contact with you from anywhere on the screen, he started burning you and you would explode and die in 2 seconds. You had to run and hide to escape his attack. You had to play the game very differently to take him down. You could say he ruined the fun, but I never saw it that way. Sure, he was frustrating when he appeared. He caused legendary amounts of rage when the game came out, and you either had to avoid him and take everyone else out, risking he sneaks up on you, or you took him on right away to eliminate the threat. Sounds a lot like the Marauder. But let me ask all of you old Doom fans, didn't you get excited when you saw the return of the Archvile? And if you did, why? Wasn't it because he's a huge bastard that used to cause you to rage due to his cheapness? And you were thrilled to see him back because you wanted to feel that rage again because it makes you so much more excited when you finally take him down. That's why the Marauder is great.
You know, I hope he gets nerfed at least. You know, that would be great.
You could delete these enemies from the game and Doom Eternal immediately becomes a better video game.
Do not call for nerfs in the first week of a game. Take this from someone who plays fighting games. This reminds me a lot of another character that people complained about in one of my favorite games, Mortal Kombat 9, Shao Kahn. When you get to Shao Kahn at the end of the story mode, he is brutal. He pounds you into the ground. He has a fast as lightning shoulder charge that stuns you. He has an unblockable hammer that can loop. He hits hard and he's super fast. He's there to destroy you. He seems totally unfair and way too hard to beat, especially playing on a high difficulty level. Until you learn the game. When you understand your movesets, how to do combos, footsie range, how to actually play the game and how the AI works against you, then he completely falls apart and becomes laughably easy. So yeah, don't ask to nerf enemies before you get a chance to play the game more. Otherwise, you're gonna seriously affect the fans that love to replay the game and get better. I think the Marauders are incredibly fun to fight because they reward smart, fast, reactive play. Here's some footage of me fighting Marauders and having a great time doing it. So don't believe what people are saying about this enemy. If you're having trouble with him yourself, try to think about it in a different way. Find a way to have fun with it. I did. And if you want to run up with everything with a super shotgun point blank range with as much ammo as you want, go play Doom 2016, a game that I love and I've played 750 hours of in the single player mode only. But we all knew that we were signing up for something more strategic with this game. It plays more like Quake 3 than it does an old school Doom game, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And we shouldn't be complaining that we got a pain in the ass enemy that beats us down if we can't remain cool. It makes us better. It's really cool, and it's really Doom. Like, subscribe, bye. Oh, and this isn't supposed to be a call out of anyone. All these channels I mentioned, I watch constantly. Love Layman, love Griffin, your stuff is great. I know that I'm a nobody here, but I felt like I had to make this video because I will be so pissed off if they actually change the Marauder.